Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Abiodun Adelu. I'm a relationship and a personal development coach. If this is your first time on this channel, you are powerfully welcome. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and put on the notification button to get notified when I post subsequent videos. They're always wonderful, and ensure that you check some of the other videos I've posted. They are wonderful videos and you'll really find them interesting and helping. In this video, we'll be talking about the matter of long distance relationship. Long distance relationship is a discussion that is fast getting the attention of relationship coaches and marriage counselors, because we now have a lot of people that are far away from each other, and then they have challenges, and then they have some of those things that they need to learn. What is long distance relationship? Long distance relationship is simply a relationship between two people that are in different states, different cities, or different countries. So when the man and the woman are in different states, different city, or different countries, it is said to be a long distance relationship. Now, how long is the long can be different. For some people, they may just be town away from each other and maybe like 1 hour drive away from each other. For some, it could be hours away from each other, and for some, they can be countries away. So depending on how long is your own long distance, the challenges and the solutions can be peculiar. But some things are general. Now, generally, every relationship has its own challenge, but being in a long distance relationship adds some more challenges to the already existing challenges that you have to deal with. Remember, there are challenges, not problems. Challenges can be solved and they can be dealt with. Challenges are not unexpected. So every relationship have their own unique challenges, but being in a long distance relationship, when one of you is away from each other, brings about its own unique challenge. Many times the long distance may be unavoidable. It could be due to maybe work, maybe schooling, or family. In the case when the man is working in another town and the lady is working in another town, or maybe they are schooling in different places, or their families are based in different places. All of these and more are reasons why there may be long distance relationship. So what are the challenges that you may face as a result of long distance relationship? So that in case you are in a long distance relationship and you are facing some of these challenges, you should understand that these are peculiar challenges of long distance relationship, and it's not just happening to you alone. The first major challenge is that you don't have the opportunity to know each other like if you are very close to each other. Because you guys are far away from each other, you may not be able to meet as often as possible, and then you may not be able to discuss some real face-to-face matters, and then you may not know each other like you really want to because you are far away from each other. So that's the first challenge of long distance relationship. The distance between you makes it more challenging for you to really know and understand each other better. Now, these challenges are not to stop you, but these challenges are for you to be aware of the things you need to know and then work on. The second challenge of long distance relationship is that you can grow apart and grow in love with someone else. You know, there's an English saying that out of the sight is out of the mind. When somebody is far away from you, maybe you are in one state in Nigeria, and then the person that you are engaged to or the person that you are in a relationship with is in another side of the town, especially if you are far away from each other. Imagine a case where one person is in southeast and then the other person is in northwest. Both of you are far from each other. There's a tendency that you fall in love with someone that is closer to you. Maybe there's a particular guy around as a female. There's a particular guy around that is always there for you, always showing up for you, always comes to greet you, all of those things. So you are beginning to see the guy more often, and then your love for your main partner is getting weary because you are not seeing this guy every time, and you see this one every time. That's a major challenge that you need to watch out for. Both of you have the tendency to fall in love with someone else. I have heard of very funny cases of people that are engaged maybe on campus, and then one of them goes for service, NYSC, we call it in Nigeria. Maybe one of them goes for NYSC. It's a 1-year compulsory service after graduation. And when the person gets to NYSC, the person just begins to have some other conviction. Now the person falls in love with somebody else in this town, and then it feels like, okay, I don't want to continue with this other person. We've had several cases like that. A lot of relationship break because one person goes to serve and the other person is in another town. But these are challenges that they should have known and they should have prepared for. Number 3 challenge is frequent quarrels and arguments over trivial matters. There are some matters that you can easily solve face to face, and there are some matters that when you sit down, just sitting down alone, and really talking and observing each other, it can help you to calm your nerves. But when you are settling some of those matters on phone, it may not really be easy like that. So frequent arguments and quarrel over trivial matters is another area where you need to watch out for, because you guys are not together, so there's a tendency to get angry over very funny things that wouldn't have been if you were physically closer to each other. Number 4 is tendency for trust issues. Because you are away from each other, you don't know what this person is doing. This person doesn't know what you are doing too. This person is wondering, I don't even know if this person is still for me. Especially, I dealt with a particular case. So if the guy calls the lady and she didn't respond on time, it feels like, I don't know, maybe this girl is with someone else. I don't know what is happening. He has not picked my call for a day or two. Maybe he's already in love with someone else. Maybe he doesn't like me again. Those tendencies are there in a long distance relationship. There's a tendency for trust issues. Because you're not close to your partner, you feel like you don't know what this person is doing. You don't know if this person is still faithful to you. And trust me, people can also poison your mind. You are faithful to this guy, you are faithful to this girl. You don't know if she has moved on with somebody else, and then she's just posting you on phone, and then she's just telling you, don't worry, we are together. And any small attitude that the person shows to you, maybe the person did not pick your phone on time, and sometimes they can be really busy genuinely, but you just begin to add 2 plus 3 and begin to connect the dots and wonder, this person is not picking my call. I hope it's not because this and this and this and this. There is a tendency for trust issues in a love relationship that is a long distance one. There are many other challenges that you may face in your own peculiar case, but I will just stop at these 4. But one thing I would really like to establish is that long distance relationship is not a reason why your relationship should fail. If you are willing and ready to work on it, long distance relationship can be well managed. In fact, I once met a brother that he said that based on his own peculiar person, he feels like he can't handle a relationship when they are very close. So he feels like long distance is a good one for him. So for that person, is good with long distance. But for many other people, in fact, for a major percentage of people, they don't want a long distance relationship because of those challenges. But those challenges are not enough to break or scatter your relationship. Your relationship can still work. In fact, before I talk about the solution, let me quickly talk about this one. There are some cases when the relationship even started on a long distance, because there are different types of long distance relationship that I don't have time to go into in this. There are different types of long distance relationship. Some long distance, you started together in the same place, and then one of you have to travel. For some, it is on and off. The person is going and coming. For some other ones, they even started on a long distance. Maybe the person is in, imagine that you went for a conference in Abuja, and then you met a lady there. Maybe you are based in Lagos, and then some things begin to happen between the two of you. Eventually, you got into a relationship. So you started on a long distance. Some long distance even start virtually. Now, I really advise that when it comes to virtual relationship, maybe you've not met the person physically before, and then you've started a relationship, it is something that you really need to speak to someone about and be sure that you are doing it right, because there are a lot of challenges with that. But that's not what we're focusing on here. But the point is that long distance relationship can work. It has worked over and over again, and it can still work. So how do you handle these challenges in a long distance relationship? The first thing is that you should maximize technology in building that gap between you. You may not be able to cover the physical gap, but at least you can cover the gap virtually by engaging in communication. Make sure you talk every day. Of course, depending on your schedule, depending on your individual timetable, you should fix a time when you talk, and you should make sure that you talk regularly. Apart from the fixed period, okay, we'll be speaking in the night, okay, we'll be speaking first thing in the morning, we'll be speaking at my own lunch at my workplace, you'll be free that time too, we'll be speaking this time. You can also have some other spontaneous calls. Engage different technology, do voice call, do video call, send SMS, reach out to each other on WhatsApp, talk on Facebook, talk on some of these social media, do email. Just engage different forms of communication tools that are available through the help of the internet and the help of the technology to bridge that gap. Make sure you are always talking. If there'll be a reason for you to be unavailable for a period, make sure that your partner knows about it. Please, in the next 4 days, I'm engaging in so and so. So I may not be able to talk as much as I used to, or we may not even be able to talk at all for this next 4 days. Let your partner be aware. Not that the person will start calling your number first day, second day, third day, your number is not going through. And then you begin to give room for doubt. If you are physically together, the person can just go and visit you and say, I've been reaching you for 2 days now, what's the problem? But when you are away from each other, then you create that tendency for trust issues. So make sure you maximize communication tools that are made available by the technology. And if there'll be any time when your communication will either reduce, maybe because of, okay, for example, if you are a student, you may tell your partner that, okay, I have an exam and this period we may not be able to talk as much as we used to, or in my workplace, the workload for this week is very, very demanding. We may not be able to talk during the lunch hour, like I said. So make sure that if there'll be any change in the peculiarity of your schedule, carry your partner along so that the person does not start wondering what is wrong with you. Number 2, visit as much as possible. Like I earlier said, the Englishman says that out of sight is out of mind. Don't let the long distance now become so long that for months you do not see each other. Sometimes for years, people don't see each other. It should not be. You should make it a sacrifice, even if it is very, very long distance. Make it a sacrifice once in a while to visit each other. One of you should do the visiting, and then depending on the peculiarity of your relationship, sometimes the male goes to see the females, sometimes the female goes to see the male. But definitely when you go to travel to see your partner, make sure that it is planned and make sure that it is godly. Don't say because I'm going to visit you, then we'll sleep in the same room and all of those things. These are not things that are really, really advised. Maybe you can lodge a person in an hotel, or let your partner sleep with another person that is of the same gender with the person, and then in the day you meet, just create something that works for you guys. But make sure as much as possible you visit each other. If you are a few towns away from each other, there's nothing wrong in visiting each other maybe once or twice a month. But if it is maybe distance apart, maybe hours apart, then make sure that as much as possible create that schedule to see each other regularly. Number 3, get busy with productive things around you. Sometimes people get lonely and they begin to feel like, oh, if my partner is around, I'll not be bored, I will not be lonely like this. Get busy with personal development, get busy with spiritual stuff, connect with a spiritual house, become active in your church, become active in a group. Just get busy. When you are busy, all of those I'm feeling lonely, my partner is away, those things will not be there. Get busy with productive things. In fact, when you are busy with productive things, it will give you more gist when you talk. Because you have more gist to talk about. Oh, yesterday I went for this program. Yesterday I was in this place. This morning I have this engagement. In the evening I need to go and do this. When you are busy, when you're working, you are developing yourself. You are learning new skill. You are learning this. You are learning that. You are a student. You are serious with your academics. It gives less room for all those challenges and tendencies to begin to mix each other unnecessarily. Number 4, set boundaries with opposite genders around you. Now, if you're not very careful, there's a tendency to fall in love with someone that is closer when someone else is away and you've not seen the person for months. So because you know that your partner is away, consciously set boundaries for how close an opposite gender will be to you. As a female, then you know that your male partner is away from you. You don't begin to get unnecessarily close with another male partner. Maybe you are feeling like, okay, this guy will fill in the space until my partner comes around. Trust me, you may fall in love with this new person. So make sure you set boundaries. And the same thing is true for males. It's not just for females alone. Maybe you feel like because your partner is not around, then you are free with all the ladies, and then you are beginning to have close friendship with other opposite sex. It can lead you into an emotional arousal that you didn't plan for. So make sure that those boundaries are well controlled. And finally, number 5, have a plan. Long distance relationships should not be indefinite. You should have a plan. When will this end? If it is NYC that takes you to another town, NYC will end one day. If it is schooling that takes you out to another place, schooling will end. If it is job, who will go to meet somebody? Even if you did not bridge the gap during your relationship, at least in marriage, you should plan to build that gap. You should plan to bridge that gap. Okay, let's say both of you are working class and you are working in different towns. So you should have the plan that when we get married, we will move to see who. Now, you may feel like, that one is automatic now. It's a female that goes to meet. Well, that's a completely different topic that we'll talk about in another video. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the female that should go. There are several things that you consider. There have been cases where the male relocates to go and meet the female, and there have been cases where the female relocates to go and meet the male. So you should not let this ego thing, this macho ego thing affect. There are many other things, like I said. There will be a video on that because it is controversial and I don't want to go into it in this. But the point is this: have a plan of how to end that long distance. Whether you will end that long distance in the courtship or you will end it in marriage. But it should not be indefinite. At least when you get married, you should plan to bridge that gap. If both of you are working in different places, then you probably need to start considering transfer. If your office is such that they have branches in the town where your partner is, you can consider relocating to that place, or your partner relocates to come and meet you, and then you guys will be fine. I've seen people that do that. One person seek transfer to go and meet the other partner, and then both of them are fine. There have been cases where the male goes to meet the female, like I said, or cases where the female goes to meet the male. There are several things to consider, but you should make sure that there's a plan for when this long distance will end. Because if long distance continues for an indefinite time, the heart begins to grow weary. It can be managed for a while, but when it is long distance, really long distance, then it is not really right. So you need to have a plan for that. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you've truly learned something, make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe if you've not subscribed. And I look forward to seeing your comment in the comment section. Let us know, are you in a long distance relationship? What are the measures that you guys are putting in place to manage your own? And if you're having challenges with it, can you share your challenge with us so that we can look at it together? So that will be all for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you and God bless you.